Hey there, buddy. There's a battle going on that nobody around us can see. It's not the kind fought with guns or blades, but a fierce fight happening deep inside your chest. It's the one where your heartbeat races when someone disrespects you, where your mind spirals out of control after being ignored, and where a single harsh word can ruin your entire day. From the outside, you put on a brave face, smiling, nodding, saying, "I'm okay." But inside, you're drowning in turmoil. That's the emotional war almost everyone silently faces. The real truth is, most are losing it. They lash out, blow up, or break down on because they're weak, but because nobody's ever shown them how to stay calm when chaos hits. You probably recognize those folkspeople who march straight into storms without flinching, keeping their feelings in check even when everyone else is losing their minds. They're not heartless or numb, they're simply untouchable. And no, they weren't born with that strength, they trained for it. That's what I want to talk about today. I'm gonna show you 9 stoic habits that can give you rock-solid emotional control. This isn't about fake toughness or pretending to be something you're not. It's about real, deep inner strength, of power that doesn't depend on approval, revenge, or attention. And here's something to remember. We worry way more in our minds than in reality, like Seneca said. We overthink, overreact, and rehearse pain in our heads before it even happens. So, if you want to become emotionally untouchable, you've got to stop letting your imagination have that much influence over you. The truth is, you don't have to feel everything people toss at you. You don't need to respond to every insult or carry every emotion that knocks on your door. What you really need is discipline, and not the kind that makes you robotic, but the kind that sets you free. Stoicism doesn't kill your feelings. It teaches you not to be a slave to them. It helps you rise above the noise, giving you the rare power to stay peaceful in the chaos and walk away with dignity, even when it feels hard. You learn how to speak less, think more, and win without fighting, without guilt or regret. Most importantly, it trains you to win the silent battles inside that nobody sees. Feeling too much isn't a flaw. It becomes a problem only if you never learn to dial it down when necessary. That's what will break you down, being overwhelmed by your emotions instead of mastering them. These 9 habits won't turn you into someone else. They'll bring out the real you, the one hidden beneath all the emotion, confusion, and stress. If you've ever said to yourself, "I just can't let things go," or "Why do I get so emotional?" or wished you could stay calm like some people do, then this video is your answer. Stick with me for every second, don't skip, and if this speaks to you already, hit like. Share your thoughts in the comments along the way. And if you're serious about becoming the strongest version of yourself, make sure to subscribe now and pass this on to someone who needs it. I want you to comment this affirmation: "I control my emotions. They don't control me." Now let's begin. Number owner, respond as if what's happening isn't personal, even when it feels like it is. Someone insults you, lies to your face, or disrespects you, and your chest tightens up. It's instinct to defend yourself, to push back, to correct. But here's what Stoicism teaches. If you're upset by something outside of you, the pain isn't caused by what they did but by how you see it. Marcus Aurelius put it simply: what hurts isn't always the event itself, but how we interpret it. Most folks take everything personally because their sense of self is fragile. If someone disagrees, they feel attacked. If someone doesn't like them, they feel rejected. If someone criticizes their work, they feel worthless. The Stoic habit here is to detach your ego from the situation, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary for peace. When someone lashes out, remember it's about them, not you. They're showing you their own chaos, not your worth. Instead of reacting emotionally, step back, pause, and observe. Ask yourself, is this truly about me? Perhaps they're just projecting their pain. Will this matter in 24 hours? That pauseth, that space between the insult and your responses, where your freedom lives. Once you stop taking things personally, you unlock a new level of emotional strength. You become someone who listens calmly, speaks slowly, and chooses strength over reaction. It's not easy at first, but the more you practice, the stronger you get. You're not avoiding conflict, you're mastering yourself. And here's a deeper truth. When you stop making everything about you, you actually gain control over yourself. That's the paradox of Stoicism. So next time someone tries to pull you into drama, into anger or blame, act like it's not personal even if it feels like it. Number 2, slow down your emotional reactions. Think in slow motion. When a rush of anger, anxiety, or hurt hits you all at once, your first instinct is to lash out or run away, say something sharp, slam a door, block someone. And then later, you regret it. That's what emotional speed does. It pushes you from trigger to reaction without giving your mind a chance to think. Here's what Stoicism advises. Slow down, even when it's tough. Marcus Aurelius said it well: to slow your judgment, your anger, your reactions. When something stings, ask yourself, does this really need a reaction right now? Can I give it 24 hours before I say anything? You don't have to respond to every feeling immediately. Your real power lies in that delay. Remember, our minds are quick, but wisdom takes time. If you want to be untouchable emotionally, you've got to cut the speed that ruins your peace. Picture this: someone insults you. Instead of snapping back, pause, breathe, walk away, think it through. By the time you decide how to respond, most of the time you realize you don't even care anymore. That's growth. Fear of missing out on immediate reaction creates urgency where there shouldn't be any. But patience isn't weakness, it's strategic strength. Moving slow gives your mind space to clear out the noise, to see that most disputes aren't worth it, and most emotions are just passing storms. It's like waiting for the storm to pass instead of dancing in it. When you develop this patience, you're protecting your peace instead of giving it away in a split second. People tend to get emotional because they think they need to prove themselves. But in truth, real control is feeling that fire in your chest and still choosing silence and calm. Let others shout, rant, or rush. Your job is to stay quiet, think clearly, and react purposefully. That's true emotional maturity, and that's what keeps you untouchable. Next time your feelings flood in, don't rush to meet them. Let them wait. Let them sit. Let them cool off. Then, on your terms, decide what to do. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I slow down to stay in control. Number 3, stop trying to explain yourself to everyone. You feel misunderstood, judged, and the instinct is to defend, to prove your point, to clear your name. But here's the truth. Stoicism doesn't demand that you be understood. It asks that you be at peace with being misunderstood. Don't waste your time arguing about what a good man should be. Just be one. Marcus Aurelius said that. You're not required to perform for anyone. Most people who demand explanations aren't genuinely listening. They're waiting for a chance to find your weakness. And even if you give the perfect answer, they'll twist it. That's why the habit of not explaining yourself is so powerful. It's not about hiding your truth, but about letting your actions speak louder than your defenses. You don't need to justify your growth or your choices. You live them. You own your silence. You protect your peace. And if someone truly values you, they don't need an explanation. If they don't, no amount of explanation changes that. Save your energy. Don't try to win approval from a world built on insecurity. People will create stories about you, whether you say something or not. Let them. Let them misunderstand, judge, and gossip. You keep moving forward, growing, healing, walking your path. Every second spent explaining yourself to someone who's already decided who you are is a second stolen from your peace. So say less, do more. Let your life be your proof. That isn't arrogance. That's self-respect. When you stop needing to explain yourself, you finally taste true freedom from permission, approval, and emotional control by others. Know who you are, what you stand for without needing an audience. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable and stop putting your worth into words. Your peace doesn't need a subtitle. Number 4, build an inner fortress that no one can breach. Step into a room and feel the energy shift. Someone rolls their eyes, mocks your ideas, or dismisses you. You smile, but inside something shatters. You go home ruminating all night. That's because many people walk through life emotionally exposed, wide open, vulnerable in the wrong ways. You might not admit it, but every glance, every word, every rejection hits harder than it should. That's not weakness, that's human nature. But Stoicism offers a solution, a fortress not made of stone but of inner boundaries. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you'll find strength." How do you build this inner wall? Decide that your peace isn't up for debate. Stop giving your self-worth to people who disrespect themselves. Cease seeking validation from those who don't care about your well-being. The wall is constructed silently. Every time you choose not to respond to provocation or insult, you're reinforcing it. Every time you let someone's opinion slide, every time you remind yourself, "That's not mine to hold," you strengthen that inner boundary. You don't have to harden your heart, you just have to protect your spirit. It's not about pretending pain doesn't hurt, but about controlling what gets access to your mind. Because the truth is, your mind is sacred. Not everyone deserves access. Not everyone warrants a reaction. When someone tries to guilt or gaslight you, imagine your inner fortress absorbing that energy so it doesn't enter your core. The more you practice shielding your mental space, the stronger your internal fortress becomes. Every "that doesn't belong to me" is a brick in your defense. And each time you resist the urge to respond emotionally, you train yourself to be unbreakable. Let others talk, judge, poke. Your fortress is built from peace, truth, and discipline. Insert this affirmation in the comments. I protect my peace behind invisible walls. Number 5. Train yourself to handle disrespect as if you're preparing for war. Nobody warns you about this, but if you want real emotional control, you should expect disrespect from everywhere. Friends, coworkers, strangers online, even those you've helped the most. And when it hits, you have two options: get upset and react, or be prepared, stay calm, and respond like a seasoned soldier. Stoicism chooses the latter. Wake up each day and tell yourself, "Today, I'll encounter arrogance, lies, envy, ingratitude." Marcus Aurelius knew that isn't negativity, it's mental armor building. You prepare for the worst so that when it shows up, you don't break with it. Disrespect is part of life. It's not personal, it's a test. The calmest people win those tests, not the loudest or toughest. They stay silent, undisturbed. Think of someone throwing a rock at you. You could respond by tossing one back, or you could let it hit your armor and drop harmlessly to the ground. Your armor isn't made of steel, but of self-worth. Knowing your value doesn't diminish just because someone dismisses or disrespects you. You don't have to shout or explain why you deserve respect. Just stand firm, like a soldier in a storm. Train your reaction so that every time someone disrespects you, your response is quiet, tall, and centered. When you do that, when you remain unmoved, the other person's frustration either pushes them away or makes them respect you. Either way, you win. It won't always feel fair, but that's why you're training. Not for comfort, not for applause, but for mastery over yourself. That's what renders you emotionally untouchable. Number 6. Stop trying to feel better and start thinking better. When you're down, overwhelmed, anxious, heartbroken, or exhausted, most people try to chase relief. Scroll social media, watch a motivational video, do anything just to numb it for a moment. But here's the truth. You don't need to feel better. You need to think better. The secret to a good life isn't outside influences, but how you think. Marcus Aurelius said, emotions aren't the enemy. Reliance on emotion to feel okay is. Feelings come like waves, they crash, then pass. But your thoughts are the ship that guides you through the storm. You can't always control what feelings flood in, but you can control your thinking to prevent yourself from drowning. Instead of asking, "Why do I feel this way?" ask, "What thought caused this feeling?" Maybe you're angry because you expected more from someone. Maybe you're sad because you imagined a different outcome. It's often your thinking belief behind the emotion that causes the pain. So, instead of numbing the emotion, change the mental filter behind it. When you switch from feeling focused to thinking focused, you gain clarity. You stop chasing fleeting highs and fearing lows. You become the observer of your mind, not its victim. Here's a practical step. When strong emotions hit, don't rush to escape or fix. Sit with them. Name the thought behind it. Ask yourself, is this thought wise or just loud? Most pain isn't from reality but from unexamined, unchallenged thoughts. You don't need another escape. You need mental discipline. Train yourself to think slowly, and anxiety will lose its grip. Think deeply, and your emotions will work for you instead of against you. Feelings are signals that tell you something's happening, but thinking is the steering wheel. Stop chasing the next feeling that makes you happy and start cultivating a mind that improves you. That's what Stoicism is fundamentally about. Number 7. Stop attaching meaning to every feeling. You wake up anxious or off and your mind begins to analyze. What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? Is something bad about to happen? But the truth is, not every emotion needs a story. Some are just passing energy. Epictetus made it clear. It's not things that upset us but our judgments about things. And that applies perfectly to feelings. Most suffering comes not from feeling too much but from overinterpreting feelings. You might be tired, hungry, or just human. But instead of accepting that, your mind starts to say, I'm failing, there's something wrong with me, I'm not enough. That's not emotion, that's judgment layering judgment on top of feelings. The practice of Stoicism is simple. Observe your feelings without attaching meaning. Feel sadness without calling yourself broken. Feel anxiety without assuming doom. Feel frustration without thinking it's a moral flaw. Think of your emotions as clouds passing by. See them, accept them, but don't label them. When you do that, when you stop turning feelings into stories, you gain freedom. You realize some feelings come without reason and others don't deserve a reaction. It's okay to feel off. It doesn't define you. You can say, I feel low today, and that's okay, even if you don't understand why. This isn't emotional numbness. It's emotional intelligence, knowing that feelings are fleeting and don't have to control your story. When you detach from meaning, your emotions lose their power to drag you into chaos. That's how resilience is built, not by suppressing feelings but by refusing to let every feeling rewrite your identity. Let your feelings move through you. Don't let them write your story. That's your job. You decide what defines you. Remember, a passing feeling isn't the whole truth. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I feel emotions, but I don't let them define me. Number 8. Intentionally expose yourself to silence and discomfort. Most folks can't sit still when silence arrives. They quickly reach for noise of music, phones, social media to fill the void. But that quiet space is where strength grows. Difficulties reveal who we are. Epictetus said that. When problems hit, see them as training exercises. Want to be emotionally unshakable? Then intentionally seek out what most shy away from. Here's why. Sitting in silence sharpens your awareness of your true thoughts, not just the ones buried under distractions. Facing discomfort, hunger, loneliness, rejection builds resilience no motivational quote can teach. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Peace doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from walking into the fire without fear, not to suffer but to grow. Spend 10 minutes daily in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and your breath. Your mind will scream at first, but soon the chaos quiets and clarity emerges. Then, deliberately practice discomfort: cold showers, saying no when you want to say yes, sitting with cravings instead of feeding them, speaking the truth even if your voice shakes. These small acts change your brain and say, I don't need comfort to feel safe. They show you that discomfort refines, not destroys you. And once you realize you can handle silence and pain, you become untouchable. No one can manipulate you through loneliness, pressure, or chaos because you've trained yourself to endure. That's what Stoics did. They practiced poverty, rejection, hunger, silence, and not from weakness, but from readiness. So, intentionally seek out discomfort not for punishment but to prepare yourself. Every time you endure without panic, you build an emotional armor that others only pretend to have. Number 9. Become a detective of your emotional slips. When you lose control, say something out of anger or spiral into chaos, what do most people do afterward? Feel guilty, ignore it, or get mad at themselves. But true mastery isn't about never slipping. It's about learning from every fall. Seneca said it well, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. When your emotions take over, analyze what triggered you. Ask yourself, what belief did I hold that caused this? Or what could I have done differently? Treat each emotional outburst as valuable data, not a failure. Every reaction reveals a part of yourself that needs attention and growth. Let's say someone disrespects you, and you explode. Don't just justify it, analyze it. Maybe your trigger wasn't their words but the belief that you're only respected if you respond fiercely. That's an inner issue, not their fault. This is the habit that fosters real change. Each reaction is a lesson, mistake, a message. And the best way to learn is to journal about it. Track your emotional patterns, noting which environments throw you off and what thoughts push you over the edge. Knowledge is power. The more you understand your triggers, the better you can predict and prepare. Soon, you'll catch yourself before reacting, feeling the emotion but not acting on it. Just observe, breathe, pause, and then choose your response intentionally. That's how Stoicism works, not perfectly but precisely. It's progress, not perfection. You don't become untouchable by ignoring feelings. You become untouchable by knowing them intimately. So, switch your mindset from judging every slip to studying your patterns deeply. Your peace hinges on it. And I want you to drop this affirmation. Every reaction teaches me control. In a world full of chaos and noise, your calm is an act of rebellion, a quiet revolution within. By practicing these 9 Stoic habits daily, you won't just protect your peace, you'll transform into someone powerful. Someone who feels deeply but is ruled by reason, not emotion. You'll stop being pulled by every trigger, stop handing your feelings to people who don't deserve them, and stop collapsing when life gets loud. Instead, you'll respond with stillness and wisdom. Carry silence like a sword, and people will notice. They'll wonder why they can't provoke you. They'll feel something unexpected, intimidation. That's the true power of inner peace. It doesn't shout or plead, it simply exists. You don't need to dominate others. You need to master yourself. And in doing so, you'll become the most dangerous person around. Someone who feels intensely but reacts wisely. The one who walks through storms with dry feet, who never reacts but always responds. Let the world chase the spotlight. Your path is different. You choose discipline. Let everything fall apart, the chaos, the noise. You remain whole. This is your new way of living. Drop a comment with this final affirmation. My calm is my power.